At least your mind is, as August begins. The sun's making its annual voyage through Leo in your 6th house of health, organization and analytical thinking. Until August 22 you're juggling a bunch of tasks and to-do lists. And maybe trackers. 2. Stay aware of your screen time. Sleep and exercise. Are you striking the right balance between work and wellness? Taking good care of yourself will help you feel grounded as your career heats up or becomes a high-pressure topic. With activator Mars in Aries and your 2nd house of work, money and security. Until January 6 financial stress could mount. On the upside, you could be busy with a demanding project, long hours and short deadlines. Or you may be catching up on bills and hotly circulating your resume. ISO new opportunities. Necessity is the mother of invention. And Mars will put the stimulus in stimulus check, whether those ever come again or not. The red planet will also make 3 intense squares to Jupiter, Pluto and Saturn in fussy Capricorn and your 11th house of teamwork, technology and ideals. Balancing your social life with work could get tricky. A collaboration could hit some speed bumps. Think Zoom fatigue on steroids. Luckily, relationships get a boost after August 22 when the sun moves into Virgo, activating your partnership zone for a month. Lean on your inner circle because you may be a bit tired with the life-giving sun at its farthest point from you on the zodiac wheel. Remember, Pisces, you don't have to do it all yourself. Ask for that helping hand, and you'll be surprised how many are proffered. Week 1 August 1 to 9. Unfinished business. This week is a tricky one. And it could recall up some stressful unfinished business, or just make you want a nap. As the work week begins on Monday, August 3, the Aquarius full moon beams into your 12th house of rest, resolution and hidden information. If you've reached the end of your rope with pandemic pandemonium, it's time to get those emotions out of your system. Vent. Cry. Do whatever you need to release these feelings. Look back to the January 24 Aquarius new moon because today's events may echo back to an incident from around that time. With the full moon exposing what's been in the shadows, something that's been disguised from you could come to light. On the upside, you could have a spiritual epiphany or creative breakthrough. At the very least, you'll have an idea of where you stand. This full moon will lock into a harsh square to disruptor Uranus, which is in your communications zone. Whatever comes into your awareness under La Luna's beams may necessitate a candid discussion. And it's probably one you'll wish you didn't have to have. Get all this confusion out into the open and sorted so you can get back on the same page. Keep the big picture in mind. If a relationship or project has gone as far as it can, it's time for a turning point, or perhaps an ending. Both the 12th house and full moons can mark conclusions. If that's the case, plan to make a clean and respectful exit and move on to something new. Since next month's full moon will be in Pisces, it could take until then for the big reveal. August 4 brings the first of Mars 3 squares to the Capricorn cluster. This one with know-it-all Jupiter. Both Mars and Jupiter can be reckless and rash. With the red planet in your money zone and Jupiter in your teamwork sector, you could impulsively leap into a group endeavor, or find yourself at major odds with a colleague, with each of you battling to be right. Force yourself to slow down and listen to each other's POV. Or shelve this for a week or two until cooler heads prevail. Think twice before lending or borrowing money or splurging on a pricey tech upgrade. Check the return policy. Week 2 August 10 to 16. A boiling point, and a backspin. Tempers can reach a boiling point on Thursday, August 13, especially with a close friend or colleague. Financial stress could be the culprit as acerbic Mars in your 2nd house of work and money butts heads with calculating Pluto in your group sector. If someone pushes your buttons, you'll be tempted to reciprocate with a below-the-belt punch. But are you prepared to burn a bridge? A supposedly trustworthy teammate could turn out to have a hidden agenda. Or they may have been engaged in some covert ops. Even if it's not an out-and-out deal breaker, this needs to be addressed. Choose your words carefully and get the higher-ups involved if you don't feel confident you'll be able to keep a lid on your temper. If there could be legal fallout, don't attempt to handle this without professional support. You'll have an easier time talking about difficult topics after August 15 when disruptive Uranus starts its annual 5-month retrograde. The side-spinning planet will reverse through Taurus and your third house of communication and social groups. If you've been at odds with friends, a neighbor or a sibling, you can settle your differences. But tread carefully, your intention to help could come across as manipulative or meddling. Let them know the door is open for dialogue. But don't force any talks. Has isolation put you on media overload? Now's the time to take a break from the screen whenever you can. On a positive note, this retrograde is the perfect time to reinforce your boundaries. Engage in some extracurricular activities or take on a project outside of work. Week 3, August 17 to 23, clean-up time. On Tuesday, August 18, the year's only Leo new moon beams into your 6th house of wellness and order, prompting you to purify and plan ahead. Set ambitious fitness and organizational goals now, and be ready to reap the rewards of your efforts when the Leo full moon arrives next January 28. This week's new moon will illuminate the part of your chart that rules systems and organization. Is there an area of your life that could use a cleanup? Anything from your desk to your diet is fair game, and you'll see the results blossom over the coming 6 months as you become more focused and filled with vitality. Starting a big project? Spend a few extra hours getting the details and planning just right. If you've been stressed or feel like you've been shouldering too much, help arrives on Saturday, August 22, when the Sun moves into Virgo and your 7th house of partnerships. Bring balance back to your bonds during this equalizing 4-week period. An important relationship, either business or personal, could veer into official terrain. Check in on the health of your bonds and give a neglected inner circle member some quality time. Week 4, August 24 to 31. Slow down and plan. On Monday, August 24, a harsh square between pushy Mars and cautious Saturn makes you feel as though you're driving with one foot on the brake and the other on the gas. Impatient Mars in your money house wants to speed ahead. But structured Saturn in your group zone cautions you to pause and plan before you implement. You'll feel this frustrating stop-and-go energy all week. Instead of barreling ahead without a master plan, stop and make sure your infrastructure is tight. Also be aware that any time motivated Mars clashes with severe Saturn, conversations could feel fraught. Tension over money could erupt. If your team isn't able to agree, you might be called upon to play mediator. A negotiation may not be possible today, but you can at least help everyone keep their cool. Make sure the terms are equitable for all, and commensurate with the amount of work and experience everyone will contribute.